Good day, everyone. My name is Chu Carway, matrix number 253165. And today, together with my group mates, I would like to present to you our policies, which is the poverty alleviation in East Malaysia through the action plan of tourism policies in the area. As we all know, the tourism sector is one of the most important income sources of the Malaysian economy. According to the statistics in 2018, Malaysia received a total number of about 25 million international tourists and contributed 84.1 ringgit billion in foreign exchange revenue to Malaysia in 2018, which is accounting for 5.9% of GDP. The reason that we choose to have this action plan in East Malaysia is that we realize there is a lot of tourism policies taking place in the central Malaysia. Therefore, we think that the East Malaysia is lack of the efforts of development in tourism sector. Therefore, we hope to have these policies in East Malaysia. Before we propose our case, please allow me to brief our proposal to all of you. As Ministry of Tourism, today we would like to provide a suggestion of tourism poverty alleviation in East Malaysia. We propose 3 policies under this suggestion, which are the first, Policy 1, allocating budget for advertising tourism spots and tourism development. The second, partnering with airline companies for marketing purposes. The third, exposing local culture with the tribe and tourists. My fellow members of parliament will be proposing the policies further after me. Before that, I would like to propose the issues that arose in recent years regarding the tourism sector in Malaysia. The first issues, which is the number of Chinese tour guides in Malaysia is insufficient and the proportion of Chinese tourists is increasing. According to data from the Ministry of Tourism of Malaysia, there are currently about 5,000 Chinese-speaking tour guides in Malaysia, but not all of them are active, and about 4,000 Chinese-speaking tour guides with group tours. The Malaysian Ministry of Tourism stipulates that a tour guide with more than 7 people must add a guide. Although there's no limit on how many people a tour guide can take, Malaysian buses can generally seat up to 44 people. So, general guides do not take more than 44. With that, I would like to pass to my other member on the floor. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Hotak Sam, matrix number is 253086. Okay, the first policy is to allocate budgets in tourism for marketing and advertising. You might think that's okay, it's about the policy which is related to advertising or promoting again, but we could not deny that the power of marketing is very important nowadays, especially now we are living in a digital world. Everyone will have their own social media account like Facebook, Telegrams, Instagram, and then you will see also a lot of advertisement in the social media, even in the TV show. So that's why we are using this policy. So in this policy, we want to allocate budget to promote and advertise our tourist spots in East Malaysia. So East Malaysia is high potentially to become a tourist spot because in East Malaysia, it has more different ethics and many tribes that which are not exposed widely yet. So other than that, we can take Bhutan as an example to compare to our East Malaysia. Bhutan is a country which is known as natural beauty, forest conservation, great culture, heritage, and biodiversity. So Bhutan covers by 72% of the forest area, so it's actually quite similar with our East Malaysia. So if you look at the data, you can know that in the Bhutan, there are only 278 of the tourists in the years of 1974, but then it showed a sharp rise to 41,000 of people travel to Bhutan in the year of 2010. So you can see that the trend of the travel are changed nowadays. People nowadays will prefer to go to the place like Bhutan, which is full of environment. Full of the natural environment like Bhutan, just to want to slow down their. They want to escape from the hectic and fast-paced lifestyle. So they rather go to the. So that's why they prefer to go to a place like Bhutan to having a relaxed trip. So I think East Malaysia can do the same like Bhutan because the East Malaysia and Bhutan is quite similar actually. So we decided to allocate 40,000 on social media. We will cooperate with online news agency, tourist websites, famous YouTubers and bloggers to promote the tourist spots. So, moreover, teenagers nowadays are easily influenced by the famous tourism posts on social medias. They will choose their social media based on all these famous tourism spots which posted in the social media. Therefore, we can have a collaborations with the famous YouTuber. We are sponsoring them for the trips or covering all their expenditure during their trips in East Malaysia. So in return, we need them to take a travel vlogs and to travel in East Malaysia by self-guided tour. That means this can solve the issue that we mentioned earlier, that we are got insufficient of the Chinese speaking tour guide. So this can really guide the viewer to show them how to travel in East Malaysia, even though if you are not able to speak the local language well. Other than that, we will try to advertise more on our tourist spots in East Malaysia in social media, and not only social media. We can advertise it through the billboards, train, bus, grab car to catch the attention of the people by using all these physical things. It's not only social media only.
My name is Song Shishan. My matric number is 253256. And now I will present the second policy, which is partnering with the airline company for marketing purpose. So other than money allocation, the other opinion is making partnering with airline company. So there is a lot of benefit by partnering with the airline company. So one of the benefit is increase the mobility of the travelers, especially in the East Malaysia, where are separated by the sea with the Peninsula Malaysia, and most of the geographical location are mountain. So by partnering with the airline company, the job opportunity of our country will directly increase, since there is a lot of traveler, and this is because the flight tickets is cheaper than before, and this will increase the tourists to our country. Besides, we noticed that recently AirAsia have launched many promotion of flight tickets to many Asian countries such as Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Taiwan. So the partnership among AirAsia and Vietnam can be the reference to our country, since that this country promote similar tourism attraction with us. Furthermore, we can increase the tourists by promote the cheap flight tickets and announce the promotion on social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and WeChat, and so on. And for example, MAS has launched the Fly Malaysia campaign for Visit Malaysia 2020, and this can encourage Malaysians to travel locally and connect tourists all over the world to Malaysia.
I would like to talk about policy 3 that is exposing local culture with the tribe and tourists. This policy has already used by other countries, for example Vietnam. Same as Malaysia, Vietnam is also a developing country, and it is developing quickly, partially in part of its shift to a market economy. The country is so aggressive in recent years to promote its tourism places. The country is unique in its own culture, and thus attracted tourists to visit places like Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi. According to research, Vietnam has more potential to have a fast development in economy compared to Malaysia. This is because this country has more youngsters, and they are passionate to attract more tourists to travel to their place. Look back to East Malaysia. Although we have lesser youngsters compared to Vietnam, most of our people are educated, and we do speak the international language, which is like English. Therefore, it is easier for the locals to communicate with the tourists from foreign countries. It is also a strength for Malaysia compared to other countries. Besides that, many ethnic groups live together in Malaysia for generations, and these cultures has influenced each other, which create a truly Malaysian culture. This cultural tourism has caused Malaysia to become famous, and it is the reason why tourists choose to travel in Malaysia rather than other countries. In East Malaysia, which consists of Sabah and Sarawak, there are more indigenous people compared to West Malaysia. The indigenous people in Sarawak account for 70.5% of the population in the state, while in Sabah account of 58.6% of the population. There are still many underdeveloped areas where the heritage cultures remain unchanged. Having these unique heritage cultures of this indigenous ethnic group is a winning for us to attract more tourists to travel to East Malaysia. Our suggestion for policy is to make propaganda of these cultures to the tourists, and thus they can expose themselves in the local cultures, like wearing the traditional costume, dancing the traditional dance with the indigenous group, and also watching the cultures of performance. Thank you.
In conclusion, looking at the issues happening in Malaysia and also considering how important the tourism sector is towards Malaysia's economy, we believe that our three policies, which are the first, making sure the allocation of budget is enough to promote and enhance the facilities in the area, the second, exposing local culture and tribe to the tourists, and the third, partnering with airline companies with cheap flight ticket for marketing purposes. With that, we believe our three policies are going to solve the issues that arose and eventually get to achieve the objective of our purpose. Thank you very much.